Well, my name is Lisa VanHimbergen. I work as a public insurance adjuster. I came to the church about 20 years ago. I have a son, Tyler, and a daughter, Sarah, and one grandchild, Maddox. And my mother had a heart attack at 3 o'clock in the morning one night, and then as I was in the hospital with her, about 11 o'clock, I got a call that one of my children were coming into the emergency room that had been hit by a car. So my whole life just crashed that morning. And I know we're not supposed to make promises to God, but I promised God that if my child and my mother lived, I would come back to church. And so I picked Osceola United Methodist because it was the closest, and I didn't have any excuse not to come to church. While my son was healing at home and I had to work, there was a pastor, Brian Beeks, who would ride his bike down to the house, and I hadn't been in church for so many years that I was just touched by the love that he gave our family without even knowing our family. So that made it that much more of a reason to come here.
Mm-hmm. What was that like walking into the church for the first time?
Well, because of the choices I made in the past, I left the Catholic Church because the sermons pretty much told me that people like me were going to go to hell. And I sat in the last pew for 6 months, crying my eyes out every Sunday. And probably 6 months later, I moved up a pew, and then a week later I moved up a pew, and then Pastor Brian asked me to be in the worship band, and all of a sudden my life changed. I felt loved and accepted, and I think that was the day that I believed that God really did forgive me for all the sins of my past. It takes time. It takes time when you have a life that's not been a good life. It takes time to be loved or feel loved again, or to feel wanted again. But in my life, when I thought nobody loved me or nobody cared about me, I realized after coming to church that God always loves me and He's always there for me. I just have to look to Him. I don't have to find Him. I just have to look to Him because He's there. I would first tell them that if God can work through me and get me to the place I'm at today, that He can work through anybody. I would tell them that God's with them through every valley, on every mountain, and if you just give everything to God and just let it be, that He takes care of you. And it's not maybe what you expect, but in the end, it's the right thing, that He knows what our needs are more than what we know what our needs are, and that they should just keep going, and eventually it gets better. And to lean on the people of our church because they're so caring and so loving. I just want to say thank you to everybody who's been a part of my life. I'm not the kind of person that will ask for help or will sit down and talk to people without prompting, but I realize now that everybody's here for me and everybody loves me, and it's without these people in this church in my life, I would never be able to survive. So I love all you guys. Thank you for everything you've done for me in my life.